What's up guys, how you doing? Welcome to another video. So today we are talking about storage. How do I go about backing up my photos? How do I store my photos in the best possible way to make sure they're safe? I'm comfortable that they're not going to get lost. I'm not going to get corrupt files and everything else. We are going to look at that today. If you're excited for this one, make sure you take a second, go hit that like button for me. It helps me out loads on my channel and I really appreciate you taking the 2 seconds to do that. If you haven't already subscribed, you should think about it. Loads of other videos coming on my channel and loads already on there that you should go and check out. So today we're looking at my storage and backup process for my photos. Now I should start by saying this is by no means perfect, and in fact actually I think it's pretty bad. I don't think I'm great at having a storage backup solution. I'm pretty confident that it's fairly secure. I think I would have to be very unlikely to be in a situation where I lose the photos altogether, but it's by no means perfect and I definitely could be looking for a more improved solution. This video isn't about telling you guys the best possible way, it's about showing you guys what I currently do. Anyone who's got some advice for me, anyone who thinks they've got a better strategy, please do, please help me out. Comment below, let me know, because I'll be really interested to see what some of you guys do, because I'm looking to change this system all of the time. So, first things first, let's look at the steps that I go through to back up my photos. And for me, the first step actually comes when I'm out there on the job, when I'm taking the photos in the first place. Now, by that I mean that both the cameras I use for the majority of my sports work, my 1DX and also my 7D Mark II, both have the ability to have 2 memory cards in the camera at any one time. I always keep both cards in there. Really useful, because what I do is I record the files that I take, the photos that I take, exactly the same onto both memory cards. Now some people will follow a process of recording a JPEG to one and a RAW file to the other, something like that. I record all the photos, all the files to both the memory cards. So straight off the bat, I've got 2 sets of photos. Worst case scenario, and one of my memory cards becomes corrupt, at least I've still got them on the other memory card in that same camera. And that's step 1 for me. Step 2 for me is that I would change out my memory cards fairly often. As I'm at a job, maybe it's half time as a football game, I would just change the memory cards and I will switch them in and out with a new set of memory cards. I simply do that so at least if something goes wrong and somehow my camera manages to burn out both my memory cards, at least I haven't lost everything. And so I try to fairly regularly change my memory cards. Back when I was using cameras that only had 1 memory card slot, I would do that all the time. I probably changed the memory card 5 times in a game just to be safe, so I didn't lose everything if that memory card went wrong. Step 2 for me is that at the end of an event, I will back up everything onto my laptop. So when I'm out there, still in the field, I will take the photos and I will put everything onto my laptop. So at that point, before I even leave the event, I've got my photos on the memory cards and I've got my photos on the laptop as well. Step number 3 for me is when I get home. I will take my photos from the laptop and I will put them onto one of my hard drives. Now I have a working hard drive which I use day to day as I'm working on my photos. I've got a whole host of drives, but at the moment I'm using this one for that. It's a Seagate hard drive which I use. Now that's where the photos go that I'm currently working on the computer. So I've still got other backups of those. I've still got them on my laptop during this time. I don't delete them from the laptop until I've finished working on them. But during that period of time, I have them on the hard drive. At that point, I might use the memory cards again because I know I'm comfortable at that stage. I've got them on the hard drive and I've got them on the laptop separately, and I'm working on those images from the hard drive on my desktop computer. So you're starting to see some of the process that I follow here. I'm always making sure I've got at least 2 copies of those photos hanging around. In most cases I have 3. So for example, in the early stage I had the 2 memory cards and I had the laptop. At this stage I've got the laptop, I've got the hard drive, and in fact I've also got the Lightroom previews set up as well. So what do I do when I've finished working on those photos? They then get saved onto my other hard drive. So I export them onto my computer and then I put them on my other hard drive. That one's an SSD, which stands for solid state drive. But I don't just do that. I don't just put them onto that drive. I also have 2 backup copies of that drive. So I've got that drive that I'm working on, and that's the one that I'll dip in and out of all the time when I'm using my photos. And I also have got 2 of these. These are Samsung portable hard drives. You can see I've marked one as number 1. It's that little orange sticker. The other one has no label, but I know it's number 2. These are 2 terabyte portable Samsung drives, and I have have that hard drive backed up onto this. It takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of commitment, but every time I export photos onto that drive, I also put them onto these two drives as well, so that at any one time I have got two backups of that hard drive. If ever that drive was to go wrong, or of course if at the point when one of these Samsung drives goes wrong, I still know I've got at least two other copies. I can get myself a new drive or a fresh drive. I can copy one to the other, or the hard drive to this one, to make sure that at that point I've still got the two backups. So even at that point when one of those drives goes wrong, I've still got at least two copies, and I know I can then just get myself back to the three, the working drive and the two backup drives as well. Now that's my current backup process. That's what I do at the moment. It's a little bit messy, like I said. It leaves me with piles of drives everywhere and memory cards all over the place. So I don't think it's necessarily the best. I've looked at other options. I've looked at cloud backups, but they can be quite expensive if you want a lot of storage. I know people have all kinds of fancy systems like Drobos and even their own servers, which cost thousands of pounds, and that's great, but right now that isn't really financially viable for me, and so hence why I take this approach. Like I said though, comment below if you've got a different idea or something better that I could be doing. I always appreciate the advice. So much of what I do and so much of my opinion comes from some of the comments that you guys give me. I change stuff all the time or add new bits all the time, and that's largely because of some of the advice that you guys give me, so thank you very much for that. That's about it guys, not a long video today. I thought I would talk you through my backup process. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. If you did, take a second, hit that like button for me, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys, I will see you on the next video.